Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her era lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the blockchain.
Now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like LeBron James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Refuse not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum entities. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I gotta shout out
Started
the
off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Freaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, mighty, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So I had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the drive with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin, where we dive into all things crypto, NFTs, Web3, and cutting-edge technology. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. Early-stage tech can be exceptionally volatile and risky. So grab your coffee and join Cap and Steve for today's conversation.
Welcome to the future.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain GM. Thanks so much for joining us. Everybody done so do us a favor, drop us a GM in the chat down below in the head up top. Smash the like, repost, and bookmark on today's space. We greatly appreciate it. Warms up the algo and does us a real solid. Speaking of being warmed up, I know I've joked, not joked. I've said many times that it might be like a shorter show today. Sans Steve, I'm serious today because speaking of warming up, I've come to the realization it took this morning and it's currently 44 degrees. Starting to warm up a little bit. I realize that unless I'm missing it, I'm pretty sure this Airbnb does not have heat. Like there's wall units, there's AC, but it's AC only, and I don't think there's heat here. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to go to a coffee shop or somewhere just to warm up because I am frigid. I'm mad. I'm angry this morning. I'm angry. I got salty about something else, and then it's fucking cold. And I took my dog outside to go pee when I first woke up, and I'm not even exaggerating. He did his business, and we sprinted back into the house. So my thoughts and condolences to everyone living up north, because here in Florida we're down bad this morning. I'm literally freezing. After sitting down with my hoodie, I was like, man, I really probably should just found the Under Armour gear, although I think it's in the storage unit somewhere. So. Yeah, I don't know how we're going to get through today. It is freezing. Warm up the algo, warm up Cap. I am not a happy camper here in I moved out here to be, I guess this is the attempting to make lemonade out of these lemons is yeah, I think I will I think I'm just destined to be further south. This is it's not warm enough here year round, and my softness can't take the 40-degree weather. So I digress. Thomas asks, is it legal to not have heat? I mean, I think so. It's very rare that it comes into play, but maybe there could be a unit here somewhere. I don't think so. I really think there's fans, there's AC units, and I don't think there's definitely no vents. So if there is a heater, it would be like the wall units. Can you see the wall unit up there? And there's a few of those. There's like one in the bedroom, there's one up there, and they're just air. So yeah, I'm near certain I have no ability to heat the home. So not fully homeless, but I may as well be in 40-degree weather here in St. Pete. I digress. As always, if you haven't done so, give us a like, repost, bookmark on the space. We appreciate you warming up. Even if I may be cold, I appreciate the space being warmed up. And I'm grateful that I'm not in RDL's spot where it is 10 centimeters of snow and -9 degrees Celsius. I can't even do that conversion. I don't want to know what that conversion is. It's below freezing. That's all I know. That's enough for me. But in all seriousness, I'm Cap, no co-host today. Give us a like, repost, bookmark. Never any financial advice in the show. Crypto's risky, NFTs are risky, meme coins, except risky, 0 moments notice. Please don't put any money in. You can't afford to lose. Note that I will hold tokens. We'll talk about here from time to time on the show. Not a financial advisor. Certainly not your financial advisor. Don't join us for that. Just join us for some fun, some information, and a little bit of education along the way. Let's see. I've got 50-50. We may have some people from the Chimpers team join us here in a little bit, talk about what they've got going on. I see we had Bread just popped in there. We talked a lot at length yesterday about Mega ETH and allocations and nerfing allocations. I've got a few more thoughts on all things ICOs. I saw a lot of talk about, we hit it broke, I think, right when we were on the show yesterday talking Monad and their sale, their pre-sale. After thinking about that a little more, because it came in hot on the show, we talked about it, flyover. I am very bullish. I do think we enter a ICO season. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about this as a fundraising mechanism. I think it benefits those of us here. All that said is Monad, I don't think I've seen this take on the timeline. I'm kind of surprised, but I too, when I first saw it, I was kind of applauding Monad. Oh, this is good. They're going this route. I'm a fan of this method. I hope it leads to more businesses raising funds this way. Friends and family, NFT Mint, pre-sale. In the case of Monad, we talked yesterday. I didn't think it was a down round. I thought it was up slightly from when they raised last time, but I saw someone else say they actually raised a $3 billion valuation. If that's accurate, it would be a down round, which is weird. It's also the sale takes place on Coinbase. It goes live, I think, the 17th and goes through the 24th. So, why isn't this getting funded into oblivion? I'm not trying to be the mega ETH bull Monad bear. I'm grateful for the Monad allocation. I'm much more excited about mega ETH for many reasons, but just talking pre-sales, just talking allocations. This is, if you missed it yesterday, Monad sale starts on November 17th. I'll click through the Coinbase pages so you can see that for those that haven't went that route so far. The sale goes live on the 17th. The one thing I really liked about it was they're basically saying in so many words that if you don't hold your tokens that you acquire for at least 30 days, you're going to get nerfed on future allocations. They're not using those exact words, but here is the details of the sale. Valuation $2.5 billion. They're selling 7.5% of the supply, no lockup. My next question is, how the hell are they doing that in the US? because this is US people are eligible. I've been told by many people that if you're going to do a token sale like this in the US, you're required to lock up for 12 months. So how they're getting around that, I have no idea. 187 million tokens, 7.5% of the supply. Minimum to get in is $100. Max request is 100,000, and then likely your allocation will get reduced from there if they oversubscribe. Sale opens on the 17th, closes on the 22nd, and then I believe they're planning to TGE on the 24th. I think we did see that got announced. If not, it's been speculated, and Polymarket has it there. So effectively, they're selling 187 million. They're raising $187 million, selling $187 million of tokens pre-TGE, the days before TGE. Like, had they done this months ago, I'd probably take no issue with it. I think where it like rubbing me the wrong way now, and I'm not like, this is going to sound insanely like, oh, I deserve something that I don't deserve, because I've not farmed Monad. I've not really been talking about it. I'm getting an allocation. So it's like, it is what it is. But am I not wrong in that every person buying in this pre-sale would have been the net marginal buyer at TGE? Are they not just nerfing everyone who actually is getting airdrop allocation here by front running the unlock? Maybe I'm just looking at it the wrong way. It's just like the cadence and how the timing of things are coming out. It just seems odd. I'm not a big fan of this. I'm not a big fan of having a 2-3 year ramp up to TGE, having your farmers getting their allocations or rewarding those allocations, everyone looking forward to TGE so they can effectively dump said tokens, and then hold our beer. We're actually going to sell $187 million worth of tokens that would have been buyers of your token. I don't know. Maybe there's more demand than I realized for Monad. Maybe 2.5 billion is fair. Just some thoughts. And maybe I missed the take. I haven't heard anyone talk about the timing of this, and just maybe part of the reason I'm feeling a little way because my undeserved Monad airdrop. There's no U.S. lockup law, says Gary. Why have I been told that then? Is it because it's not? I've been told by attorneys. I've been told by other funds I've invested in. I was told because I'm in the U.S., I'm required to lock it up. They're required to lock up the tokens for 12 months. I'm required to lock it up for 12 months. I had an attorney confirm that, and now I'm hearing it's not the case. Gary GM, thanks for coming up. So have I been lied to? Is there different interpretations of this lockup law in the U.S.? What's your take on token lockups for U.S. pre-sale participants?
Yeah, GM. So my understanding is the attorneys that are talking are going off of what they think may happen when regulations are present. There is no regulation concerning a token, especially a token that would be used as a blockchain or a utility token, that requires a lockup if you're not going to treat it as a security. If you're going to treat it as a security, that's different. But if you're doing a blockchain token, Mega ETH or Monad or something like that, you need to use that token to operate on the chain. In order to use the token, it doesn't need to be locked up. It's not a security. You're buying tokens early. You're buying a utility token. So from everything that I've been seeing coming out of US government on regulations around staking and whatnot, and doing a ton of research on the actual laws and our legal team doing research on it, there's not a law. There's interpreted best practices and people trying to comply with something that doesn't exist, but there's not an actual law that says ICOs in the US have to be locked up for 12 months that we've been able to find. Maybe if you can quote the law, maybe I'm different.
No, I mean, that makes sense. It is probably like the CYA. It's the, hey, this is like a gray area. This is the way to get ahead of potential future regulations. It's just weird to me because it's been so many and it's always international. You could, and it's not just like pre-sales. It's even things on like launch pads, even things on like the InfoFi sites, even things on the Kaito. US pre-salers, I think on all those in there have been required to lock up for 12 months. So it's become, so granted, not law, but it became the de facto standard. Is that like, is it?
Yeah, and I think that's what most people do in crypto. Somebody does it, usually someone that has some clout or respect or trust, and then other people follow behind it. Then it becomes the norm or the standard. Everybody quotes what they hear, which is the law says this. Everybody assumes that's accurate. No one does their own research. And we end up here thinking that's right when it's actually probably not.
Interesting. Well, I appreciate the take and clarification, or at least your understanding of it. And it makes sense that it probably just is. Let's CYA. There's some attorney at one point said, "Oh, if you're in the U.S. doing a pre-sale, you should lock up to be safe. Lock up for 12 months to be safe." And everyone else followed suit, and here we are. So, Brett, if you hear that, I'm not hedging. I'm not shorting. I'm not looking to sell my Mega ETH allocations OTC. But if you wanted to get rid of the unlock, sounds like you legally can do so. I'm long Mega for at least 12 months anyway, so I'm not going anywhere. In fact, what you could do, since it's not a required law now, is I motion to just everyone who did lock up, even whether in the US or not and were required to, just double those allocations. Just give them twice the amount for being good Mega citizens. Dwayne, appreciate the chat over an Abstract. By the way, we are live on Abstract, my Abstract account. We're also live on YouTube. Mato over there asked, am I minting the Wallchain Quack NFT? I don't know yet. Can someone sell me on it? If it was free or maybe even a soul, I probably would. It just seems high. In this economy, a $400 mint? I mean, I just doesn't feel like, where does it go from here? What, like, you're betting $400 to 2x. The only way it holds value, in my opinion, I don't know anything, but the only way that thing holds any value is token allocation. Well, what token allocation? I mean, it's not a huge supply, but it's also not small. I just don't know. I struggle to see that token getting to the point where maybe you get your $400 back. I don't think like 10x is feasible. I think this would be a lot more of a hyped mint. It was like a soul or like, I don't know, $100 mint, $400 mint in this market just seems rather extreme. Joey, what say you? Are you minting the Wallchain Quacker NFT?
I'm not. I mean, I'm not a big InfoFi guy. I've tried my hand at InfoFi and like, trying to rack up points, and it's just, I'm not consistent enough. I don't reply. So it kind of hasn't been fruitful for me. I'm just still, I don't remember how long ago where we were all like talking about how InfoFi is the future of marketing and all these InfoFi platforms are going to pop up. And I struggle because they're all fighting over the same group of people currently in crypto Twitter. And I just don't see how there's enough to go around right now for multiple InfoFi platforms to be lucrative. And I just don't know if spending $400 without, I mean, like if they had announced that a token's coming and this is going to get you, some percentage of the token, I'm sure it would sell out immediately. But I don't know how much you can, I don't know. I'm just not sold on InfoFi and crypto Twitter as being this like lucrative thing with all these different platforms fighting over the same people.
So yes, they are fighting the same people currently. I would agree. I give you that. Also, real quick, circling back to the security laws, Steve adds in the chat, they're complying with U.S. security laws because there isn't clear guidance of tokens yet. To some degree, it's CYA because these regulations aren't defined, but it's also very likely outcome of how the U.S. will handle this sort of sales. So basically, to Gary's point, there's no regulations on tokens. It's the U.S. security laws that they're adhering to as a CYA. So that makes sense. Makes sense. Although again, still kind of surprising that Coinbase on their first launch isn't doing that. I also yesterday when we flew over it, thought it was Echo. It's not Echo. It's Coinbase's homegrown product. So seemingly they literally acquired Kobe for the customer base, those KYC customers, and Kobe might be the most expensive customer support agent of all time, and proving to be worth it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Mass respect for someone who just got a $400 million signing bonus to be grinding Coinbase customer support issues. It's rather impressive. I don't think it's a bit. I mean, I really think he's helping these people. He's had just yesterday alone dozens, maybe hundreds of people DM him their email address so he can help troubleshoot customer service issues with Coinbase. Probably the most unexpected thing of the cycle, from my view. That Kobe, a probably close to a literal billionaire now on paper, anyways, is doing entry-level customer service support for Coinbase. What a time to be alive. That said, yes, back to Quacks and Wallchain. Same group of people today, for the most part. I would strongly disagree that InfoFi is not lucrative or can't be lucrative. It's been lucrative for myself and many others, and I think it will continue to be lucrative. I hear you on more noise now maybe than ever before. So you've got Kaito, you've got Wallchain, you've got Zeet, you've got Cookie, and then all of them are probably, I think it's safe to say, they all have more campaigns at this moment than they ever have before. So it's...
Oh, I think it is. I think it is lucrative. I just think that for the for somebody like me to spend $400 on that NFT, where it's not like the people. I would imagine the people that are minting this are the people that are on the leaderboards, hoping that it's going to get them some type of boost, right, for their payouts or something. But for everybody else who's not on these leaderboards, why would you mint one? What's the case to mint one?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking for. Why mint this? I think it's just purely speculating on token allocation, which I'm not opposed to. It's just like Dwayne, as Dwayne says, that 2.5 Sol would be a 1,058 mint. It'd be like a 0.11 ETH mint. You better be bringing some heat if I'm spending 0.11 ETH minting an NFT in 2026.
It doesn't. They made it like 60% through their first stage right now. Good morning, by the way, gentlemen. And it doesn't look like they're coming out of this first round with minting that first stage out. And the space doesn't even seem that excited about it from the outside looking in. And they're hosting the space right now. And I mean, you see, the people that are pushing it up on stage and stuff. But I don't know. I just don't, like, whenever you've been here long enough and you just feel something, this just doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, if you were bullish on the founders, right? Like if you were like, man, these guys and girls, whoever it is, really know what they're doing and their background, and they have this plan to expand outside of crypto Twitter, and right, like, and make InfoFi something big. What's $400? But if we have yet to see any of these companies really get, and maybe they're still maybe in their alpha or beta stage, so they're not looking to expand yet. But like, why would you spend? You could do a lot more with that $400 right now than buy this and hope that in a year or two they expand beyond crypto Twitter and it becomes something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind them minting an NFT. I think that makes sense. They're heading towards token allocation. They're running back seemingly the Kaito playbook. All that's fine. I just think the mint price without any details, I should make sure they haven't provided details, is high. Same thing with the box of Priice. I'm not touching that thing for $350 or whatever it's minting for today. I was around the NFT box meta in 21. It doesn't now. I mean, they have, to your point, minted 69% of the 800 in stage one. I guess I am eligible. Man, I'm gonna be if this thing cooks and I don't mint it, it's gonna add to my saltiness here. I will be increasingly salty if I don't mint something that ends up cooking that I'm eligible to mint. But it's also kind of a weird, like, so it's the same price at each stage. Maybe that's the other thing they could have done too, is discounts for early stage. I just
Does the price go up in the next stage? Like, what's the difference?
No.
Who's
It's
eligible?
2.5 SOL across the board, all the way into public. 2.5 SOL all the way across the board into public.
Yeah, and they just
So
basically
it's basically just on the stages are just based on eligibility.
and a number available per stage. There's 800 in the first stage, 600 in the second stage, 300 in the third stage, and 299 in the fourth. Okay, that's I don't understand why you have 4 stages, but each their own. It's fine. I just the price points are the most shocking thing in this market. The $410 mint here, the $350 mint on for Priice's boxes, just feels out of touch. That's all. Go get your money. Same thing with, I guess, back, jumping around here a little bit, but back to the Monad thing, to Von Brunton's point, I understand the point if I'm a claim and a dumper, but he likes it for Monad, the company. Yeah, good business move. They just saw mega ETH raise. Why would we just give away all this airdrop, give away this free money when we could go raise, $187 million? Take the $187 million, I guess. Just, I don't know, like these things that this pre-sale, these high price mints. My read on the market just doesn't feel like a time for $300 and $400 mints, but watch them cook, and tomorrow they're 3 and 4K, and I'm kicking myself.
Yeah, but this goes back to, like, remember back when we were talking about anime coin? It's like, and the market wasn't doing well, and we're like, well, would you delay or not delay? Like, what if this, if this was their plan the whole time to launch, right, like today at this price? It goes back to that conversation of, like, do you delay because of the market? Do you try to time the market? Do you just move forward? Like, these founders face this difficult of, like, hey, the market is or isn't, do we still move forward or not, if this was their plan for the last 3 months?
I guess. Sure. I mean, teach their own. I'm not one to, I guess, say stick with your guns or change your price points. Maybe I'm just being diva and an entitled brat that I think they should be minting stuff for lower price points, so mentors could actually.
I mean, let's face the fact. Even if they did it for 1 Solana right now, that thing would have shot. I think it would have shot up. It would have minted out right now, or they would have hit their first stage already.
Yep.
Honestly.
Hey, real quick, Anthony in the YouTube chat, we appreciate you over there, man. I don't know what to tell you. I'm live on my account. It's in the video right now. At Chris Jordan is my handle. I'm live every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern time. We're live right now. I don't know what to tell you, man. Maybe you're following a wrong account. All you got to do is click my username in the PFP. Will have a circle around it. Click that, and it'll say, do you want to join space? And I saw your question yesterday on the FTX. I mean, I don't know what to tell you on the FTX debacle. It happened so long ago. Did people get burnt? Yes. We've all kind of moved on. If people can't move on from FTX and an individual or a team of individuals who did wrong things, and one of them is serving 20 plus years in prison for it, I'm not trying to be like an asshole. Maybe crypto is not for you. Like, it happened. It's really unfortunate. If people are still scared about crypto because of Sam Bankman-Fried, this probably isn't the right spot for you. I'm not trying to drive you away. We're grateful you're here. There's nothing else I can say on FTX. Like, they commingled funds. Sam Bankman-Fried used user deposits to gamble in crypto and lost. And he's paying the price for that now. And a lot of those users have gotten their deposits back. Now, granted, it wasn't made whole due to the time and number go up and all that, but there's nothing else I can add on FTX. Like, it is what it is. It happened. It sucked. It was a black swan event. It sent Solana to $8, and that was the move. If you go back and do it again, we should all full ported Sol at $8. But as far as relitigating or discussing or what to say to someone who's concerned about FTX, not your keys, not your crypto is all I would say. If you're that concerned about a centralized exchange, don't use centralized exchanges. I was here in 2021. I was aware of FTX. I didn't use FTX because there's freaking douches over at the Bankless Boys, they got in my head that I should self-custody all my funds. And so I did. And now I'm back to using centralized exchanges because I trust Coinbase and some others. But yeah, I don't know what to say else on FTX. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. Go ahead.
I think there's also, like Machiavelli mentioned, if it was listed for one soul, I think there's like a mental thing with us in this space when it comes to certain pricing. So like, yes, one soul is cheaper, right? So maybe people spend the money, but it's also like mentally when you look at it, you're like, oh, mint this for one soul, no problem. Mint this for 2.5 soul. You don't think like it's not about the USD conversion. It's just like what you see. It's kind of like when we talk about mints and ETH. Like you just said, man, you want me to mint this for 0.11 ETH? But if it was like, again, hypothetically speaking, if it was like 0.069 ETH, yes, it's half the price, but like mentally you look at it, and you're like, oh, it's only 0.069 ETH or 0.05. So I think there are certain things. It's the psychology of pricing, right? And it definitely exists in this space. Whereas if they would have priced this maybe at one soul and just had a larger supply,
Or
probably would have sold significantly more.
Or give us more details.
Boom, right there. Give us the information that we're lacking so that we want to put our money where our mouth is.
I mean, I'm trying to think back what I've minted. There's been things I've minted, certainly, don't get me wrong. The last things I actually thought about, do I want to spend this ETH or this SOL or this cash and mint something? The last things I actually consciously thought about was Good Vibes Club. I'm in a 5-pack. They were 0.069 ETH, so 0.35 ETH to mint 5 of them. In hindsight, that was a no-brainer, though each one's trading for more than that. But at the time, it was like, I don't know if these things are going to run to, like, what's the upside? I was saying the same. What's the upside here? At least I knew what I was getting. I knew I was investing in a team. The art was fire, and I liked the team. So I was happy to support. Not that I dislike the team. Hunter, I got to hang out with Fest. He's awesome. Not really spoke. I mean, we've maybe interacted a little bit on the timeline, maybe DMs with the founder. The other thing, other than Good Vibes Club, the last thing I consciously thought about, do I want to mint this or not, was a Mega ETH Fluffle like 9 months ago. And that was an ETH when ETH was 2,600, but it was a no-brainer mint for me. I gladly minted that and didn't even think about the price. I mean, I thought about it, but it was more of, do I want to mint? Do I want to try to go and partner up with someone else? Do I want, like, we minted one from our Coffee with Captain wallet. So we actually minted multiples despite it being the higher price point. But the reason is I knew what I was getting. I knew.
What are Fluffle's at right now, Cap?
Well, based off the valuation,
there's no price because they're soul bound.
Yeah, they're soul bound. But reason I gladly minted it is I knew I was getting token allocation, and so the value of that token, that based on pre-market, is about those Fluffles, which minted for 1 ETH, or at the time $2,600. The value of the tokens that are allocated to them are about $26,000 now. So it's a 10x. But again,
yeah, I think we're trading pre-market at like a 5 billion FTD, which puts our Fluffles at like 26, 25.
But we knew what we were getting. We knew it was soulbound. We knew there was token allocation. We knew we were getting into a $500 million valuation, and we could do the math. I can't do the math on a Wallchain thing. I don't know. I'm not knocking it. I'm asking what's the bull case other than we're going to get $800 of token. So I could 2x my 2.5 SOL. I could turn 2.5 SOL into 5 SOL with tokens. Could also be $20 of tokens. Like, I don't think they would do that. I just, yeah, I don't know. I'm not trying to flood it. It's just right now seems like $300-400 is a big ask without details. Maybe it's just me, and maybe I'm leaving opportunity on the table here. Yeah.
But it's not just you, Cap. Only 69%. So 70% of 800 is, what's that? 70. So 500. Only 540 have been minted in the first phase. So it's not just you that has these questions or these feelings.
How long does this phase go? 2 more hours. 2 hours and 20 minutes. Ooh. So they probably get there. I mean, it is at 70%. They do have a big space going on right now of 700 people or something in there. So they've probably been out phase 1. But if they don't, Is this thing DOA? Like if they don't min out phase 1, it probably doesn't min out, right? I mean, maybe the phase 1 is just so restricted in terms of who got eligibility. But yeah, the 560, that represents 28% of the bunch. Trying to read here. Is there mint limit 1? So it's showing on my mint limit 1 on. Does that mean 1 for each stage? So if the 560 minted the 1 now, could they go back and mint another one in phase 2, stage 3, stage 4? Or is it 1 total per wallet? Does anyone know that? Machiavelli or Joey? Probably not.
No, I don't know.
No, I'm sorry. Man, I'm responding to a ton of messages. My bad.
Oh, good. I mean, I hope it mints out. I would love to see it cook. I'd love to see it mint out. And
I know there's no details around it, but are there details around like what's the money going towards? Is this like to go towards the token? Is this just to go towards like funding growth? Like, do we know at all what this is? Like, I know we don't know what the NFT is going to represent, but have they said what the funds are for?
I don't believe so. They're probably saying it right now in their space. My guess is just it's funds to continue to operate, funds for payroll, and so because does that the stage qualifications are dependent on your Wallchain activity and scores. He thinks this mints out easy, and that's where I like it. Despite my feelings, it is just a supply of 2,000.
I mean, if you're somebody who's been stacking Sol for a really long time at lesser Sol values, I guess
I've got
2.5 Sol ain't the end of the world if you feel like there's an opportunity for this team to do something. I didn't stack a lot of Sol, so for me, 2.5 Sol is a big deal because I didn't buy Sol at $25, $50, $75.
If you missed it, Joey, I've got in that hot wallet, I've got 0.139 Sol. So although my rect allocation did unlock in Jupiter, so I could move my I could sell some rect, which I don't do. I could sell some rect without having to rotate anything else and mint my I just don't. And here, I guess at the end of the day, I'm bullish InfoFi. I think there's room for more than one. I think it absolutely can grow outside of crypto and Web3. Right now, to the earlier point, it's those of us here. It's a bunch of rotators and mercenary capital.
But are you bullish on Wallchain getting outside of crypto Twitter? Are you bullish on Kaito? That's, to me, when it comes to like which one of these companies do I want to own the NFT for, or do I want to get behind? That's, to me, that's the question, is right. Like, which one has the best chance to grow outside of crypto Twitter, where my investment, whether that's holding a capybara or one of these quack NFTs, which one of them do I really want to get behind?
Yeah, and to answer your question, of the bunch, Wallchain probably ranks third on my list. They're not. I don't believe they're first in class. I don't know what their differentiator is. They very well could have one. I just don't know what it is. And from what I do know, and I'm trying to think through my words here, Kaito is today first in class. They were first to market. They've captured mind share. They have the market share lead. I don't think they're going anywhere. I do think there's certainly more of an opportunity than just one, especially when we think about outside of crypto. Currently, in the current state of the market, with the current base of crypto users, I don't know as if 4 or more can be supported. And if I look at the landscape, my very biased take is that Zeet, who came after Wallchain, has already leaped Wallchain, and they have more going, and they're just getting started. So I do have a relationship with Zeet. I have some information I'm not privy to share yet, and I'm going to be doing some work with the team. So it's as biased as it comes. We talk about holding bags. I don't have any Zeet bags per se, but the reason I made that decision is I saw that they're doing some things that are unique in InfoFi, gamifying it, and not just, even at the highest level. Now, is it easier said than done to highlight signal over noise? Yeah, it's much easier said than done, but I appreciate the focus. I alluded to earlier, I didn't set this up with intentions of trying to dunk on Wallchain today. I did mention earlier we might have the Chimpers team joining us here in a little bit. They're in the UK, and it was kind of a last minute. It was actually our guy, I Can't Trade, suggested it. Wanted to see him on the show. So we may have that coming up here in a bit. If not, we'll get him on another day. But they just announced, this was yesterday afternoon, the Chimpers Flash Tournament, 2-week Flash Tournament for all Chimpsters, all things Chimpsters in the Chimper brand. 20K prize pool. Check out the leaderboard details below. So 5K to first, 2K to second, $1,000 to third. Plus 3 Chimpers are going to be raffled off to the top 50 creators. I like what they're doing. I like how they've incorporated the on-chain components. From my perspective, if I had to bet on the two leaders today and where they would be in the future, my biased opinion is that I think Kaito and Zeet have more unique selling propositions and a better chance of maintaining relevancy long-term and breaking outside of crypto than does Wallchain. Again, it's a biased take. It's not that I have anything to say knock Wallchain. I just don't know. To me, they just seem like a fork of Kaito and just selling things at a lower price point. And their fork isn't as good as Kaito. I'm not saying everything that Zeet is doing is guaranteed to have PMF and going to be better. It's just at least different and not just a copy pasta. But I would love if anyone has a bull take on the Zeet mint. I would like talked into it because I don't know. I have access. I feel I should be eligible. I feel I should.
I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, if you spent 2.5 SOL on it, and let's say it doesn't, what you get doesn't impress you, or number doesn't go up, and then you drop it into bids for 1.5 SOL, like, is losing that 1 SOL gonna make or break like your crypto career, versus if you mint it for 2.5, but it does do a 4 or 5x, or it does get you some token allocation, right? Like we talk about, like, it's a lot. Yes, $400 is a lot of money for a lot of people, but again, if you've been stacking SOL and you have a little bit of disposable, could it be worth the? I mean, I'm pretty risk averse, so I don't know if I would, but I guess that's a question for you, is like, what's the worst thing that happens? It doesn't do well and you dump it and lose 1 SOL. Would that kill you?
I mean, would it kill me? No, but it's not about losing the 1 SOL. It's right now, it's about opportunity cost. There's a lot of ways to make money in this market.
Okay, so right now, what would you do with if you don't spend 2.5 SOL on this? Where would you deploy 2.5 SOL this week instead?
Well, right now I'm not deploying anything fresh, so it would be rotating in. I would be, like I said, it would be selling something like Rect into this, or moving some Solana back to my minting wallet and spending the Solana instead of earning the 4 or 5% on the low end. Part of my objective this cycle was to stack SOL, stack ETH, stack Bitcoin, not spend it. And you're exactly right. In the past, I would have blindly just minted this thing and said, oh, worst case scenario, I lose a SOL on this. That's where I'm struggling with. What are the chances? Is the chances I make a SOL greater than the chance I lose a SOL? I just don't know. If I'm minting anything, as I often do, I'm looking to get it in plus EV. I'm looking for positive expected value. I don't know if it's positive expected value. Could be. With the information I have, I think it's probably 50-50. So as I say that, if it's 50-50, I'm probably best just to go ahead and mint the 2.5, and maybe nothing moves and I get 2.5 back, and I move on with my life. I just if it was one soul, I'm in. Don't even think about it. There's something psychological about 2.5 soul over $400. It just seems expensive. My brain is telling me no. I almost bust out my body, but I'm not going to sing.
It's a great song, but these youngsters don't know about that song.
You know, we talked about we're going to have taxi cap confessions. I wonder, I don't know how we would do it. I don't know what the actual bit would be or the actual segment would be, but I feel like we owe these youngsters. We should bring back some 90s, some early 2000s R&B. We need to find a way to work this in the show. Oxy GM, please save me, sir. Let's talk about anything other than R. Kelly.
Yeah. No doubt. One thing that kind of, and maybe I just don't understand the Wallchain as well as I should, but it feels like it's one of the InfoFi projects that really isn't adding much value to like wallet and on-chain activity, which makes me inherently bearish on rewarding on-chain assets and on-chain activity, just in general. You know what I'm saying? Like if you look at like Cookie DAO or I think Kaito has kind of started doing this a little bit with some of their campaigns, but like there's a very distinct difference between certain InfoFi projects, whether it's solely activity on X versus activity on X plus, on-chain activity. We talked about Legion yesterday and how on-chain activity was important in that, score. How is this not status quo at this point, in my opinion? Like, I'm looking through like these campaigns and I don't see anything related to like, oh, make sure you like deposit a little bit of money into here, play around with the protocol, you'll get more points or what have you. Like, that's the whole point, isn't it?
I think so. Now, to give them credit, Wallchain has done this. It's been campaign specific. For instance, they did the Ape Chain raid was on Wallchain, and if you held different Yuga assets, apes, mutants, codas, I think that was an ape coin, $500 worth of ape coin, or maybe 500 ape coin on Solana. If you held that, you got multipliers. So that they have incorporated the on-chain assets. It's just been very project specific. I think the ape coin raid was the first. I believe they've done a couple since. But I'm right with you. I don't. It's kind of like that's what I'm looking for. Like they didn't introduce that. That was first done on Kaito. Zeke does it. Where I guess what I'm looking for is where are they going to differentiate themselves? What is their USP? How are they going to stand out in a competitive InfoFi market? And that I don't know the answer. Any thoughts, Oxy?
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I'm glad to hear that they did that for Ape Chain. Like, I think that's a great aspect of InfoFi that needs to be factored in on a go forward basis. And I do understand the aspect of like not like if you like there's something to be said about people being able to make money in crypto without having to have tons of money to just outsize everyone else and just be like, okay, the only way I'm going to make money on this campaign or whatever is just dumping shitloads of money into it. I understand there's like a little bit of nuance there, but I agree. I'm with you. Like, I wish more projects, and I guess it's not the InfoFi platform that's the problem. It's more so the projects not valuing this on-chain activity. When it comes to these campaigns, they just like, I don't care as long as the message is out there or the people are talking about it or whatever. Like, that's the only thing I care about. But it goes back to the ICO post. It's like, if you can't retain users because you're not training people to think using the product is good, using the product rewarded me, you're not going to retain any users. Like, so I don't know. Maybe it's not a Wallchain issue. Maybe it's just an InfoFi campaign issue in general. But yeah, I'm glad to hear that they did that for. Glad to hear that they did that for Ape Chain. So that gives them a little bit more, I guess a little bit more bullishness than I originally had thought. I was like, oh, there's no way I'm bidding this if the only thing is just noise on the timeline.
Well, so yes, I agree. again, I'm not trying to be a futter. Their leaderboards also seem extremely noisy, like compared to the others. And again, please, someone that's a Wallchain bull, just come up on stage and check me here and give me the other side of this, because I don't want to. I'm not trying to like pour on. If we're looking at them, we're being fair to all the parties. Mert, an influencer, he's a KOL. I get it. He's probably at the top of most of all the InfoFi boards. I apologize if I miscategorize anyone here, but I believe this to be accurate. Zuri is a farmer. NFT Perks is a farmer. Lexa Bitcoin, I'm not sure. Alt F4 is a farmer. Sol is a farmer. Art Vision is here. Not a farmer per se. Fear is a farmer. Eric, a farmer. Tiger Aspect, I don't know. Like, this is your top. Who on this leaderboard do you actually think is a top InfoFi person over the last month, other than Mert? Does anyone else? Again, this is not a personal attack. I apologize. Art Vision, you're awesome. This leaderboard looks like InfoFi slop for the most part. Not everyone, but a lot of these are InfoFi farmers, and they're the ones getting most of the quacks. This isn't like a me thing. I've got 3,000 some quacks for all time, 277th. But even if you go to their all-time board, now it looks more like, okay, this is a little more accurate. You got Mert still at the top. Abi is a farmer, but I think this thing is a spectrum, right? Like, some people farm just pure slop. Other people farm more strategically, and I don't know how I'm trying to say this. Iguanas DeFi is a known account. Whale, obviously. Easy, obviously. Clemente, obviously. So if you look at the all-time chart, not bad, but you go to the recently, it's just farmers. So other than Mert, and again, please don't take this the wrong way. If Art Vision, I know he listens to the show. I'm not attacking. Probably shouldn't have went there. But Joey, thoughts on that? And I saw we had Simple Farmer join us as well.
Yeah, I mean, the crux of this whole conversation is what you keep going to, which is, I don't know what I'm getting. And I don't know how many times we've talked, and this is not just with Wallchain, but in general, like, just tell us why are we minting this? Why are we buying this? Why are we supporting this? And let people decide for themselves whether it's what they want to get behind or not. It's like the unknown mystery. It's not what people want in this space anymore, right? Like this, and because you keep saying it, right? You're like, I don't know what I'm getting. I don't know what's here. Right? Why is there not more information? And maybe there is. Like, I think Thomas in the abstract chat said, utility access to the closed topped Quackers chat, ecosystem highlights, priority user support, mindshare quacks and algo questions. He said this is not a lot of utility. I don't know where he found that or if that's accurate or not, but like, just tell us what we're buying and maybe we'll buy it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, what like, and I don't know that unless there's no token allocation coming, then the thing is going to zero, would be my guess. But Oxy, go ahead and get back in here.
Yeah, so that is accurate. I think I'm pretty sure I when I was first digging into this, I looked at the like utility side on their page of the NFT sale. I'll have to go back and see if they still have that up or not. But I remember reading that on their page. So I think unless they changed it, that was what was originally posted. Like, and this is a thing, and I'm perpetually glazing Mega ETH here. So I mean, that's probably destroying my reputation to a certain extent. But like, their Fluffle sale is exactly what I would want.
That's not going to happen on this stage. We're all Mega ETH fans here.
Okay, thank God. So like, Mega ETH in their Fluffle sale is exactly what I would want out of something like this. So they came out and they said, look, we're going to sell you an NFT. This is a raise of sorts. It's going to equate to, things down the line related to, like, it's a raise. This is going to equate to ICO down the line. Like, they were very transparent about this is a raise, and this is going to be like, this is a raise. This is a raise for our ICO. And if that's what you're disguising these NFT sales as, please say that. Like, what are we doing here? We're not. It's not 21 where like it's like, oh, maybe down the line. Like I mean, 21. I don't even think we really had tokens associated with NFTs, but it's just not the same industry anymore. And if you're still stuck in this like mint NFT and you might get XYZ, that like you're not gonna make it, man. I don't know what else to tell you.
It's I think you just kind of summed up where I'm at. Is it feels like it's a step backwards instead of a step forward. I'm not saying everyone has to do the same thing. I just like my appetite for minting stuff on speculation is close to zero. For minting an NFT on pure speculation is or again, I'm not taking shots, but like the utility that comes with it is a non-starter for me. Like I have zero interest in that utility. The only reason I would be minting this is for financial gain. And I have no idea if there's like, I'm guessing there's going to be token allocation, but they should at least tell us as my feedback, in my opinion. That said, I'm gonna drag the mint here for 2 hours in the show, and then I'll probably mint one as soon as the show wraps because I'm a degenerate. But
and you said something earlier. It's like I'm only doing it for financial gain. What would I do otherwise with this money? I think, or maybe Joe, you had asked.
Yeah, I had
like,
said,
okay,
if you didn't deploy 2.5 Sol or $400 for this,
yeah,
what would you do with it that you feel like could get a better return or more opportunity cost?
Yeah, right. And like, maybe, dude, maybe I'm washed and maybe I'm mid curve these days, but like, I would rather put my money in a stablecoin farm, like a Solstice or like a Almanac vault or something like that, where I'm earning points for a potential TGE. I know what I'm getting there. Like, I like if I'm farming a protocol, I'm farming yield, I'm farming project X, whatever it might be. I know what I'm working towards, and it's much more stable than another InfoFi project that I'm dumping 2.5 Sol into for maybe an upside gain, for maybe a token allocation. Like, I know what I'm getting with Project X down the line. I know what I'm getting with Solstice. I know what I'm getting with Almanac. Like, maybe I'm just like, maybe like the industry's for sure maturing, but maybe like my risk appetite's maturing and becoming more mid curve where I'm not like making these gambles. I mean, maybe I'm saying the same thing you guys said already, but like I'm much more inclined to farm some DeFi protocol than take a speculation on an NFT mint these days.
Same. Nope. I'm with you. And yeah, I'm probably mid curving this mint. But that's where I'm at. Is I'm putting more thought to where I'm, because I really don't like. I don't want to be spending my money. I want my money to be making me money. My money in crypto to be making me money. I don't want to be spending my money here. I want to be stacking and growing my money. And could this help that objective? Yeah, it could. I mean, Steve brings up a valid point. Is the other side of this is we're saying this about Wallchain when a lot of us a couple months ago or a month ago or so, we gladly minted a bunch of blind boxes. We had no idea what they were on the Moonbird side. Like $25 a box, or 12 times 25 was $325. So pretty close. I minted a 12 pack of those. So pretty close to what I would be spending here, also in Solana.
I mean, but you knew you were getting a physical. You knew you were getting a physical item with it.
Yeah, but dude, I'm not spending. I'm not spending.
I mean,
$50.
There was a lot of speculation, right? The idea was you meant it, get you part of the BERT, but they announced the TGE, right? So the speculation was you mint this, and it's probably gonna, similar to like what with Pudgy Penguins did, where if you owned physicals, you got a Pengu allocation. So we connected the dots and said, hey, we should buy these because number one, and you were able to actually sell those for 2x what you minted.
Yes. And the reason I minted was not for, I did not mint 12 of those for a physical item. I minted those for token allocation, period. Hard stop. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't need 12 of anything, let alone, I don't know what they're going to be at this point. It was also, and I'm not saying this cheeky, it's my real lived experience and how I feel. It was a month and a half ago. I feel very different about the market today than I did a month and a half ago on this speculative stuff. And I don't know why. I'm having trouble putting a real finger on that, because I still think we got plenty of run left this cycle. I still think we've got a strong finish to the year. I think 2026 is going to be amazing. I don't know why I've shifted so much on the pure speculative nature now than I did a month ago, other than, again, keep it real, not feeling the burbs right now, man. I am I like Spencer a lot. I think he's probably spread a little thin, and I just do not get the merch. It's just not my thing, not my journey. I know they're not a merch company. I just I don't know.
But if they're not a merch company, why are they trying to be a merch company?
I don't know. I'm really struggling because there's people and teams I like, and I just am not feeling it. And so I'm trying to not. I mean,
the kids would say, and maybe I'm in the minority here, but the kids would call the videos and pictures we've seen recently very cringe.
May have been a word that popped in my mind, but I'm not the demographic. Like, I'm not in the streetwear arena. I feel bad passing judgment for something just not me. I did relist. I had my Moonbird or my Mythic listed for a big sticker price. I listed it now for a bargain deal of 1.269 ETH. If anyone wants a Mythic that's on the Mount Rushmore of Mythics, if you're keeping score home, that's a top 4 Moonbird Mythic for only 1.269 ETH. In fact, I tell you what, if someone wants to go buy this right now, someone wants to live buy this Mythic, pass this along to the Wallchain team. If someone wants to, if Hunter or anyone on the Wallchain team wants to live buy this Mythic, I will parlay that $483 that's left over, and I will move it right over to Solana, and I'll mint a Wallchain NFT. If this sells today on the show, I will give my word. I will go mint a Wallchain NFT. That'll be my rotation of the day. I say that like kind of as a joke. I would do it. I'm serious, but I listed this following this week's stuff. I'm long Moonbirds. I just am not feeling it. I'm not feeling the direction. And to your question, Joey, I don't know what they are. I don't know. I don't know what Moonbirds is building. Let's go around the same. I'm gonna put you all on the spot. We'll start with Joey since he brought it up. Joey, what do you think Moonbirds is? Describe Moonbirds, the company. What is Moonbirds building?
From what I've seen so far, I think he's trying to build a lifestyle brand.
Okay.
With the whole burbish, like feeling burbish, and what it looks like with this merchandise drop. It feels like he wants Moonbirds to be a lifestyle brand.
Okay. Machiavelli, what do you think? What is Moonbirds in your opinion? What are they
I
building?
don't know, because I'm confused. Because listen, when he took it over and we were going to move into the TCG era type situation, I was like, oh, they released the 3 birds that were going to be little mascots or whatever. They started having the community make videos and stuff, and then all of a sudden it went to merch, and then it went to these blind box things that everybody minted for a certain price, and you can get 1 for XYZ, or you could buy 12. And I really don't know at this point. I was hoping that it was going to be some type of vibes type situation game my kids could get involved in and stuff, but it's kind of moved away from that. It's not really the focus, so I really don't know at this point.
Oxy, for those watching the video, I've got the Burbish merch drop pulled up on screen here. Oxy, what is Moonbirds to you? What are they building?
That's it, dude. Okay, so this is coming from someone who's I'm sorry to say, inherently bearish on NFTs and NFT brands. I faded every Moonbird, thing since they minted, to be very honest with you, from then until from 21 to 22, whenever they minted till now. I haven't touched Moonbirds. And I have never been more confused I can't keep straight outside of Yuga and what they're building with the other side. I can't keep straight what any NFT project is doing. To be honest. And Machiavelli said, it's it was a trading card game, and I saw some stuff on that on the timeline. I was, oh, that's interesting. Okay, whatever. I mean, we've heard this a million times. Let's see if they can do it. And then the merch drop happened, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna fade this because I have no idea what this means. And then it just feels like it feels like we're in 2021. And they're like, oh, yeah, we minted this NFT out. We might do merch. We might do a token. We might build something else. And just so vague and then changes every other week or every other month. And I mean, if it goes back to the same thing, if I don't know what you're doing like very clearly, and you don't meet these milestones, you don't like show progress in a certain direction, then it's so hard for me to get on board, man. It just really is.
Yeah.
I don't think they were ever. I think the TCG thing was just an assumption based on their past.
No.
and-
It's not an assumption. They literally have somebody from China working on the cards, like a special artist working on all of the cards, and they were like going in that direction. Adam Weissman even posted about it on the timeline about visiting the office in New York and saying he's never been so bullish about what the direction that they're going, and then like it just kind of like I think like we got this. I don't know. It got really weird because like he said a few things about apes and not understanding, or like like I don't know, being playful or serious on the timeline, but like I feel like he just kind of got lost in his own sauce over the past 6 months. And listen, please don't anybody hate me for that. I'm so excited about the Moonbirds coming into the other side and stuff like that. And then that didn't even happen. Like we just kind of hurry up and wait.
Simple Farmer, same question for you. What is, in your opinion, what is Moonbirds building? What is the brand? What are they attempting to become from your perspective?
Yeah, just working for ApeCo. I'll play a little bit of devil's advocate. Like I don't want to definitely cut down on any other companies. I think Spencer has been batting. Spencer has been going like 9 for 10. I mean, shooting like 90% in terms of collaborations, bullish beats, narrative has been killing it with Moonbirds. Maybe this one didn't hit home as well, but I'll just give an example of something I did in real life. I used to own a bar back in my home country, and there was a company that was in town that was running all the billboards, and they were trying to charge me like $10K to get ads on all the billboards. So I get more audience, more people coming to my bar. Instead, what I thought, in my opinion, was cooler, because I noticed it was raining that day and I saw people walking around with umbrellas. It said, what if I put the brand on umbrellas and I buy $10,000 worth of umbrellas and give those out? I'll have the whole city walking around carrying around billboards for me, just to protect themselves from rain. And I think with merch plays, maybe this is the thinking, is that it's propagating brand awareness and as in terms of like advertising and stuff like that. People wear the shirts. It's like they're really carrying around the billboard of the company. So
great take. I agree with you. I would push back and say, yes, but often when you look at merch as a marketing vehicle or as an advertising vehicle, it's often giveaways, free merch, it's swag. It's not a $1,500 jacket. Like I understand the thesis, the take. Yes, I think brilliant move with the umbrellas. But I'm guessing the attendees, they didn't buy those umbrellas. They probably got those umbrellas gifted to them for free. So there was 10,000 floating around. Here, I'm not saying that they give away free merch to everyone. That's not a sustainable business model. Where's the NFT holder discount? Like that sort of stuff is like, we talk about moving forward versus staying the same or moving backwards. Like, why like this? I'm again, really choosing my words carefully this morning, probably not careful enough. I'm sure some of this will be taken out of context and another team will hate me for being candid. Why aren't we using NFTs like we to their full capability? Like why? I'm not saying it should be a gated drop, but why not give a little discount for holders? Maybe there's extra allocation for people who bought merch and hold a NFT. I just like, this is stuff that to me seems such low hanging fruit, such again, use the word table stakes. I just, so they did. Sorry, they did. I take that back. They did. My mistake. If you bought $50 worth of merch, you got free socks if you're a holder. So they checked that box. You don't have to like the discount. They did it. I apologize. I was wrong. I misspoke. They absolutely are providing utility for holders. All that said, I don't think the community, I know, mind-blowing in 2026 or 2025, we're going to talk about communications from and comms from crypto brands, but I think this has been pretty poor. Like we saw, I saw a tweet, someone shared a tweet. I didn't even know what the hell it was yesterday. I saw the thing about the socks, but I didn't know there was a merch drop. I had no, I think I'm pretty dialed in. I pay attention to this space every day. I had no idea the merch shop was started yesterday. I knew they were heading towards merch shop. Had no idea it was going live. Further, this is high quality stuff. A $1,500 jacket, a $50 t-shirt. Real yes or no answer. I just go around the horn real quick. Yes or no? Joey, are you familiar with Uprisers? Do you know anything about Uprisers and Uprisers Lab?
So the
Yes or
answer is no.
Okay.
And it's funny because I actually just looked them up.
Let's come back.
while you
Hold up. No. So Joey's no. Oxy, I saw
No,
the thumbs
never heard
down.
of them.
Oxy, are you familiar with Uprisers at all?
No.
Machiavelli, are you familiar with Uprisers?
No, sir.
Simple Farmer, are you familiar with Uprisers?
No.
So this is a problem. They're selling a premium product. I can attest it is a premium product. It's high quality. It's not my style. I'm not going to wear like a NASCAR-esque leather jacket. I don't own a leather jacket. I'm not a leather jacket kind of guy. If I was, it's a high quality jacket. Not only that, and Joey, I'll let you fill in the blanks. Uprisers is a pretty cool company. Pretty cool what they do. They basically upcycle material. So all their stuff is recycled. They this leather jacket's made from, like, there's a real story behind everything they build. I don't know what they're upcycling for their charms. I also don't know what this Tintin thing has to do with anything. But I digress. Uprisers is a real, it's a big collaboration. So the tagline here, and then Joey, feel free to add to this, but they say where motorsports meet streetwear, the Uprisers times Burb capsule brings digital culture to life through handcrafted design and drift energy. Each upcycled leather jacket is one of a kind. Again, one of a kind. These aren't all the same. Each one is one of a kind. They're one of ones. I don't see that anywhere unless you read this description. Built from repurposed luxury leather and finished with oversized appliques. I don't know what that means. That embodies speed, creativity, and community. This is where I need Steve. Steve, I know how to go to a meeting, but I need to help pronounce with the APPLIQUES word. From Tokyo to LA to the Web3 frontier, this collection celebrates motion, individuality, and radical collaboration. The only reason I know anything about this, the only reason I knew they were one-of-ones, the only reason I knew that they were crafted from premium leather and finished with bespoke detailing is because I saw them at the booth at ComplexCon. And I talked to the team there. They were really proud of their work. They were really proud of how unique this stuff is and the process. And there's a deep, deep story and lore in these things. Maybe I missed it. I haven't seen any communications on the timeline. I haven't seen a video. All I've seen regarding this merch drop, I've seen Spencer Instagram screen, or I've seen screenshots of Spencer on Instagram with hot IG models courtside. And the descriptions that I click through and read on the website. Maybe I guess if someone's buying a $1,500 jacket, they're probably reading the description. Even here, even in this description, this doesn't say it's a one-of-one. I happen to know that because I saw the jackets and they explained to me that none are the same. They're made, from, again, recycling high quality premium leather. It's a cool story. I go back to first thing I said. I think Spencer might just be a little spread thin. He's attempted to take on the world. He's to Machiavelli's point, Simple Farmer's point, probably 9 out of 10 if you're going to grade him on everything he's done from acquisition until now. I would agree. I think I'm on this show on record saying he's moving better than some of these established crypto NFT PFP brands who've been around long before him. It just seems like the momentum's heading the wrong direction from my perspective. And some of this stuff, like, again, if you're going to sell a premium $1,500 jacket, if I'm advising the team, I'm not, I would maybe do an educational video on this as opposed to someone tagged it. I'll pull it up. Again, I'm not.
Cap, you should go to the Uprisers website. We are uprisers.com and look at the wealth of information on this jacket. And Moonbirds has the premium banner on weareuprisers.com, on the homepage. And if you scroll down, you'll see where you'll see behind the design, Uprisers and Burb upcycled leather jacket. Apparently only 10 of them, according to the article, there's only 10 of these jackets.
That's what they told me in at the booth, but I don't see that anywhere on the website. What?
Well,
the hell?
that's the issue, right? Like the Moonbirds
Seriously,
website.
Spencer, I'm gonna DM
like-
him right now, dude. What the hell, dude? You know this space. You know collectibles. You're selling a $1,500 leather jacket that the reality is it demands that premium because of the quality it is, the fact that they are unique. There's only 10 of them in the world. Why aren't you telling
scroll
me
down, scroll down, Cap. And you'll see there's an article where it says like behind the, and it's like this whole thing, and they talk about how there's this drift driver that's involved.
Super cool.
And the culture behind it. Like, keep going.
This article was released on October 24th.
Right there.
Has Moonbirds even tweeted this out? Like, Joey, thank you for calling this attention. It's also, not only do they have a nice article on it, it's highlighted on Upriser's main page. It's the first thing you see. That's awesome. Please, someone, if I miss this, please share it with me so I'm not misspeaking. I have not seen the Moonbirds account or Spencer share one thing about this yet. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Like, it's a premium jacket. It's really cool. It's a great collaboration. And what we got, though, was this. I don't understand it. I'm lost. I'm being too critical. I shared. I probably should have disclaimed more. I'm feeling a certain way this morning. We'll blame the cold. Woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and so I'm a little spicy. But what the hell? This doesn't tell me anything. You got a Solana KOL to do a 20-second video and say they're burbish? I'm not. I listed my Moonbird after I saw this. This does not make me burbish. What might have made me burbish is if everyone knew that this Uprisers are a really cool brand. It's really bespoke. It's extremely high quality. It's a great collaboration. Tell me a story.
If you Cap, if you actually scroll down on that article, there on their website, it actually goes into completing the Burb collection. The Uprisers Lab Burb tee, a puff printed stacked logo tee that nods to Formula Racing uniforms and straightwear classics, and it like talks more about, like, you asked about the necklaces, right? There's a little blurb about that. The car fresheners, like there's a whole bunch of information in this article on the Uprisers website. And I'm assuming this guy is the drift driver that is that this was modeled after. And there's actually pictures of him putting the Burb logo on his drift vehicle at the bottom of that article.
Yeah, Hiroya Minawa, record-breaking drift car, anchored in the booth. Yeah, there's a lot of information. This is really cool. A lot of work and effort went into this. A lot. I don't doubt that. This stuff just doesn't come together. This is not my style. I can still respect the work and effort that goes into doing something like this. Individually, it's triple the amount of work when you collaborate with a third party. It's quadruple the amount of work when you collaborate with a third party and another third party. In this case, like, I respect the work, and this is why I'm being so critical on the communication around it. Is not only did they do the work and have a cool product, Uprisers have done the work telling the story. A design that like creative constraints can inspire innovation. Like, they're telling stories. Only 10 units were crafted, each handcrafted from discarded premium leather, yardage sourced from high fashion houses. Like, there's a big story behind this. It does demand the premium. Like, I don't know if you're going to put this kind of work and effort in having 10 one-of-ones. You're not going to sell it much less than $1,500. But I'm going to guess anyone who didn't go to Complex Con or isn't intimately familiar with Uprisers probably saw the tweet yesterday. They probably go to the Moonbird site and like, holy shit, Moonbirds is trying to sell a leather jacket for $1,500. What the hell are they thinking? Because no one knows. All we know is, are you burbish? Machiavelli, go ahead.
I just wanted to speak to what Farmer said, is that nobody up here is hating on Moonbirds or saying anything. We're just asking a question and being confused by like the steps being taken and the way things are being put out publicly. But no, I don't think anybody up here has any kind of hate for the community or the IP or anything like that. It's just asking a question. We're supposed to ask these questions. We're supposed to want to know the direction that these founders are moving in, because a lot of us put our money where our mouth is in this ecosystem. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't think that there's anything with asking these questions and moving in this direction, because People want to know. And you know what? I do kind of feel better after Joy pointed it out, like that these are one of 10 style jackets. All of them are original and stuff like that. Like that speaks to a lot. But all that should have been relayed through either the comms director or whoever is handling that through Moonbirds. And they owe that kind of collaboration and the things that they're doing, that necessary information, and hell, even do a space. When was the last time they did a space about things like that, or reached out to everybody, or put it out there for the Web3 community? Because people do want to know these things. They do want to associate with these brands, and they will stand behind something when they understand it, but they'll walk away from it the moment that they don't.
I think the other issue is all we're seeing on the timeline. And again, I still hold 5 oddities. Like I think Spencer, there's a lot of potential for what Spencer's doing. I'm not here to FUD them, but I think when all we're seeing on the timeline is talks of Spencer sitting courtside with like an influencer, and we're not hearing these stories, that like something is amiss, right? Like that's, I think, the problem is like the focus has been on the wrong things the last couple weeks.
Bro became a star, bro.
Well, and again, Spencer did have a space recently, gave an update, talked a little bit like high level. This is where I feel like I'm taking crazy. I don't think I didn't listen to the entire space. I might have checked out for a little bit. I was kind of multitasking, but I just can't. I don't understand why he didn't hype up the upcoming merch drop. I don't understand why he didn't go into detail about the Uprising collaboration and partnership. Like, that's news. It's cool. Not my journey, not my thing. I still respect it. Thought it was cool. It seems like a noteworthy thing to talk about. You're going to put that much time, resources, energy into launching something, like tell the people about it. I know we're jumping around a little bit. We do have a guest waiting in the green room. Going to get some more details on something to as the people are demanding here this morning. And I asked for the bull case on the Wallchain mint, and I do have one. Shout out to Mayhem in the War Room for sharing this. I'm going to pull it up on screen, and then we will look to bring in our guest here in a second. This is the bull case. People see this as an expensive mint. I see this as a badge of honor and an ICO. Forget where I see this, but someone did a calculation. Aping this NFT is like buying into Wallchain at a $16 million valuation. Don't forget the Kaito NFT went from 0.1 ETH to 10 plus ETH at TGE. This might not do as crazy, but I believe it will surely do fine. Says someone who minted their Genesis Wallchain.
I mean, but that doesn't tell us anything, right? That's just like one person saying, like, I think it's gonna do well, but why?
This is also going to sound extremely diva-ish of me, but just keeping it real. I don't know too many people on crypto Twitter that have 50,000 plus followers that are not botted that I've not yet connected with. So to my earlier point, that to me, Wallchain seems very noisy with a lot of AI slop. We do have 525 followers, probably a very fine individual, probably a great person, and I'm probably wrong. It's probably not 50,000 botted followers. They're probably all real humans, and they just happen to only follow 1,200 people in this space. Cape's probably been, he probably been the go-to GGen for NFTs and airdrops, in a creator, DM for collabs, advisory, strategic partnerships, content creator for X. Like that's a red flag bio to me. Sorry, it just is. It's how I think. I don't know what For You World is. Let's see. Okay. Minute a base project in September. Again, Cape's fine. That's just like that bull post. That collection, by the way, did 7 ETH in volume. The floor is 0.005 ETH. That bull post, it made me more bearish on the mint because it kind of reconfirmed my priors that I think most of the people minting this thing are either A, purely doing it for a flip, or B, they're deep in the they're a deep quacker. They've been farming that ecosystem, farming quacks and putting out AI slop for a while. And so this is their way to basically double down on the ecosystem. I hope I'm wrong. I want to see the thing mint out. I want to see it cook. Don't do what I do. Don't follow me for financial advice. I've been basically bearish this mint the entire time. There's still probably, I said 50-50. It's probably greater than 50% chance I end up minting one. If it gets close to that 800 with like, there's 90 minutes left. So if by 11 o'clock, it's almost minute out, I'll probably mint one and purely do it for, so I can feel something today. All that said, we're going to move on. A lot of, I think we beat the, yes, Big Cuz last take on the whole burb thing. I think Spencer is trying to target a younger demographic, the Solana DJing community, because I'm sure that burb token will launch there. When buying Moonbirds, he got it with the older boomer holder group. So yeah, the approach is cringe as F. It's I guess it's cringe to us. Nodeka says, I don't know, Spencer. Feels like we bought a movie ticket because Brad Pitt was the star, but the script really sucked. Boo is invoking aspiring nobody to come up and share the knowledge. I'm guess sharing the knowledge on upcyclers. Aspiring nobody knows a lot more about the
Aspiring nobody's in my other games community. He's a really good dude. He's on Ape Chain. You know what I'm saying? I'd love to hear what he had to say.
Oh, he was helping me out on that word I didn't know. Said the word I was asking about is when the leather cut out gets stitched on top of the leather jacket or a piece. Think custom leather graphics or letters. So basically the stuff they're embroidering on is also custom leather that they cut out and then stitch on the leather jacket. Some back and forth about the Priice mint.
Was the word you were trying to say applique?
We're going to get it from the expert here. And to our special guest, I appreciate you and your patience. We're going to wrap up this topic here in 60 seconds. We got aspiring nobody on here to give us a brief education on this word I couldn't pronounce. And I truly am curious. Like I requested the others take here. I'm not going to make you say something you don't believe, but if you do think this Uprisers is cool, if you like this jacket, like tell us why we should, and maybe not go buy a $1,500 jacket, but why we should appreciate it more. And then I'm just going to go quick mobile stream drop, refill the coffee, and then we will shift gears. Aspiring Nobody, always a pleasure. If you're not already following him, go give Aspiring Nobody a follow. We'll brighten up your day every morning. One of the most positive people in crypto and Web3. Always a pleasure, sir. Thanks for jumping up.
GM, yeah. So just quick, because I know you want to move on. The word is applique, and yeah, it's when you cut out leather graphics and stitch them then on top of the leather jacket. I don't know much about the jacket itself, but knowing what does go into handmade leather jackets and leather goods, especially if there's only 10 of them, I think the price is actually on the lower side, taking into account all things. And then I'm not deep in that ecosystem, but just listening to you guys and knowing what just happened with Complex Con and Yuga and all of that, it does seem like a big miss in terms of not piggybacking off of that. And Complex Con is a perfect place for that, right? So if that just happened and then you have something like this, it would make sense that you would piggyback off of it and use it as a catapult to be able to continue on in that culture. But yeah, so that's my 2 cents.
That was a great 2 cents. How you doing this morning, man?
I think Cap's getting coffee still. I think that's what he said, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, while he's here, Aspiring Nobody, hit us with a great morning quote.
Oh man, you're putting me on the spot and I'm walking into a meeting. So
all right, fine. Well, good luck in your meeting. I hope you crush it.
Thank you. I will say, I guess while we wait for him, it was really cool because I wasn't able to go to Complex Con this year, unfortunately. But it was really cool to see everything that happened. And I know a lot of people here don't understand that culture, or aren't really, into it or have a lot of information on it, but the younger crowd is there. I know that from working at Vanson. Also, I have a junior, my son's a junior in high school. So I'm very up to date on like what that whole crowd is into. I also have an 11 and 10-year-old girls. So If you're trying to build long term, then I would say you need younger people to take our spots as it goes on. And culture wise, there's not really a bigger bang for your buck than Complex Con.
Yeah, well said. I appreciate the education. And I actually thought about you multiple times while I was out there. I was like, man, there's probably nobody would love this. I should have sent you a text. You were on my mind. And I don't expect everything here to be catered to me. In fact, most of it will not. I'm a 45-year-old man with, my youngest daughter is a senior in high school. Like I don't fit the average or even probably in range of the normal target demographic for a crypto native company, specifically an NFT PFP company. I get that. And I accept that. And I also can appreciate high effort. This is, I believe, I've done a merch drop before. This is a extremely high effort merch drop, apparel drop. I'm not even gonna call it merch drop. This is an apparel drop. This is apparel. This is not free swag. This is high quality stuff. I just don't know as if they've done their best job communicating that. I don't know if they've done their best job telling the story around it. I don't know if they've done the best job talking about how cool this collaboration is. In fact, I haven't seen them talk about the collaboration. If I wasn't a Complex on, I wouldn't even know that Uprisers was a thing because I'm not a reader. I'm not going to go click through a website and, let me find out more about this leather jacket. And when I look at it, it's not for me. So anyways, I went my rant. Time to move on. Really appreciate everyone pouring on the conversation this morning. Wallchain team, Moonbirds team, I love you both. Please don't hate me. Blame the cold in Florida this morning for my spiciness and my extra candor. But I am excited for our next guest. We're going to get all the details, all the alpha, all the direct questions. Insight from Chimpers has joined us here. GM, sir, appreciate the impromptu visit. And I can't trade for another community member, daily listener, inspiring this conversation. I'll be about maybe like 2 hours ago. Is that maybe the first tag?
Yeah, no, appreciate me having me on. I think he dropped the message. I saw it this morning. So again, thanks for inviting me up so quickly. He's a great community member. Doesn't surprise me. He listens to the show every day. So it's good to be back.
Great to have you. Great to have you. Appreciate it as always, and especially on the short notice. This actually, I should go find I Can't Trade's original tweet. But this, I believe, was the main topic. He wanted to talk about the Flash tournament that Chimpers launch on Zeet for all things Chimpster. But before we jump into all those details, do you want to maybe even like higher level? My assumption is everyone here is familiar with Chimpers at this point. If not, they've been sleeping under a rock. Someone last week was given major flowers for having the largest social following on Instagram. I believe it's like 1.2 million followers already. Huge W. And talk about high effort and execution, doing all the things. Do you want to hit on Chimp strategy, Chimpster, and like the team's decision to go? And I'm not trying to put you on the spot either. Anything you're not wanting to talk about or comfortable talking about, but it just you want to kind of hit on that at a high level, and then we'll roll into this Zeet Flash tournament.
Yeah, no, definitely. So of course, yesterday we released our sort of vision and thoughts around the strategy ecosystem and our recent release of Chimpster. I think everybody, again, probably is familiar with the launch of TokenWorks and that being, a major sort of conversation point over the last month, 2 months, perhaps. For us, obviously, Chimpers has been quite the contrary to other collections. We're completely organic. We don't have VCs. We're very grassroots. We're a family team-led sort of company. And that has sort of rooted within the community and what we've been building over the past sort of 3 years. And for us, like you mentioned, a big part of what Chimpers has been focused on is that foundation, the brand growth, distribution, and discovery outside of the space. And at this point now, we've grown to be one of the most, followed social media brands in the space across, all of the Web3 projects. And one of the perhaps criticisms or, points of, the downside of Chimpers is perhaps we're not Web3 enough. We're a very sort of collector focused organic community, but we haven't necessarily dispersed into other pockets of crypto Twitter. And a main reason for that is that we haven't had a second collection. We haven't had a TGE or like a revenue driving event where it can bring on board more and more people. So for us, it's been quite an organic, steady climb. Gradually we've, over the past few years now, everybody is respecting Chimpers and can see what we've done. But there's, that degen appeal that perhaps has been the missing key. So when obviously TokenWorks launched and the strategies came into the picture with the first sort of few rollouts in that cohort, we looked at that as the perfect opportunity because Chimpers doesn't have a token. We don't have a second collection. We have a very small collection supply, half the supply of others. And we have a strong foundation, which is, a strong brand and social media presence outside of the space with, products and real sort of distribution. So we saw that as a great way to fill in a gap, something that's been missing for Chimpers. And the way in which the whole strategy ecosystem functions, I think, you guys had the Good Vibes team on recently, and, they can attest and they put forward a really great case for why strategies are so, monumental in the space right now. Is there's a big disparity between tokens and NFTs. Chimpers is never going to launch a TGE and, create this huge event where, the NFTs will potentially be impacted negatively, which we've always had NFTs at the core. It's what we've preserved over the past few years. Whereas with strategies, we can align with the community. Everybody can buy in at the same time, as we did as a team, and have bought over 40 million Chimpster as of this point in time. And we prefer that grassroots organic approach where the Chimpster token can support the NFTs. And we can continue to build the brand, continue to build the Web3 sort of community with our activations, our sort of games and experiences, while at the same time preserving the health and relative sort of growth of the NFTs themselves as well. So yeah, that's where our head has been at. And obviously, as soon as the strategy's launched, even us not knowing that we would potentially be one of the next to release, we was already plotting our sort of chimp paper and how we think that we can tie this all together, how we think we can put forward a great case for the flywheel, and how we see it being a sort of net positive for the sort of long term. And a lot of things remain to be seen. There's a lot of issues, you could say, as well with strategy tokens and how they can be discovered when you compare it to a typical brand token. But for us, everything aligned in terms of how can we, fill in that missing jigsaw puzzle to Chimpers while continue to not change anything that we've been doing for the past few years.
Yeah, it's really, so I said it with the Good Vibes team, same thing here. I'm going to double down. I really appreciate the thoughtful, the intentful approach and putting your own twist in strategy, pun intended, to the strategy token. We saw a lot of others. It just was the token, and they talking about the flywheel narrative or meme, and we've seen it. It's not a coincidence that the behind Punk strategy that the next two top performers are Vibe strategy and Chimp strategy. Like there's definitely something there more than just the token itself. And who knows? This is as we always say, never any financial advice, but as the team is building behind this, there's alignment there. $2 million market cap, like. Whereas I was struggling earlier, if you were on the show, I was struggling to understand what's the upside in a $400 NFT mint in this market. A $2 million market cap for a team that's building that for a token that holds 369 NFTs. There's some fundamentals there. Like that math can math. The chart actually does look, forget the dollar amount. Chart actually looks pretty good. And I guess beyond. I had your chimp paper pulled up here a little bit ago. I did pin it up top for those that want to go read the whole thing in great detail. It is very detailed, very thought out. If you want to pull anything out of there and kind of like summarize, or maybe let me ask you this: what makes Chimpster different? Because you're incorporating into rewards. There's the Dojo Reserve that's mentioned here, and all this is laid out. But what at the highest level, what makes Chimpster different than not just Vibester, but any other token that's tied to a NFT PFP collection?
Yeah, I think the fundamental reason why strategies can be successful is when there's a foundation and a sort of real case to a brand and business case to a brand, which obviously with Vibester, they're a studio, they have developed that over the past few years. And like Chimpers, what are we trying to do with NFTs in the Web3 space? We're, a Web3 IP that is a character brand that is attempting to, proliferate and be discovered in the mainstream space as a real character that can, go much further and bring a lot of real world presence to sort of Web3. And I think, with us having that huge distribution and as we have been doing with collaborations with real world brands and developing real fandom and connecting with the real audience outside of Web3, that's something that we have pledged to tie directly into the strategy ecosystem, whereby the Dojo Reserve, which obviously is with the 1% fee, we're committed, just like Vibester, to redeploy that 1% fee back into the ecosystem by buying NFTs from the Chimpers collection, by buying Chimpster through buybacks. But another part of that is we're pledging, our revenues, a portion of our revenues from brand activations that we have outside of the space back into the Dojo Reserve. So whereby
I want to make sure everyone caught that. Can you repeat that last part? I think this is a big, you talk about differentiating factors and tokens. I think this is a big thing.
Yeah. So when we are, creating products, whether that's blind box series, different product lines, bringing on licensees in different categories in the sort of licensing realm, whether that's in Web2 space or whether it's Web3 space, through the products that we have here, we're committing to, a portion of our revenues to buy back Chimpster. And we've already been demonstrating that already on top of, the 1% fee that we've had. We've had a collaboration with Harito's, one of the biggest soda brands in the US. I'm sure everyone's familiar. They're also in Web3 space. And we did have a Telegram sticker pack release, and we're planning, more activations with them. But even on that sale alone, a portion of the revenues went back to buying Chimpster. So there's intent there. And I think that's one of the defining factors. I think, obviously there's a tricky sort of regulatory sort of space right now with other brand tokens, but, we didn't launch Chimpster. It's something that we can lean into. It's risk-free, and we're, committed to fueling the flywheel by reinvesting into it. And I think that's probably one of the biggest cases. Obviously, there's been other strategies that have launched and maybe not got the same sort of traction, but I think it all depends on how committed the team are to, sort of pushing it. And for us, that's reinvesting our 1% fee, but also, the brand growth of Chimpers will be tied to, revenue buybacks as well. So I think that's one of the key parts.
I love that. And talking about things that are easier said than done, I actually have a call later this week with someone I met at ComplexCon, one of the Ape events, looking to building something that might pull this off. But this idea of what you just described of bringing real world revenues on chain into these ecosystems, into these flywheels, if you will, that's exciting to me on many fronts, whether it's existing crypto native NFT PFP brand, whether it's traditional real estate or a traditional business. Like the idea of bringing real world revenues into our world, putting that on chain, that's really exciting to me. I know it's very hard. There's real problems that need to be solved to make that a go. And right now, those that are doing it, like yourself, it's kind of like the trust me bro model, right? Like you could say, oh, we're putting 100% of our revenue towards this buyback. And the reality is no one other than the people who are signers in the bank account or, are really going to know, right? You're not a public company and you don't have to disclose earnings, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not saying you're misleading anyone. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, at scale, to really make this, I think, like, level up, it's finding a way to connect those dots. I don't know how it's done. Easier said than done, I know, but it does excite me that you're going this route. I'm cool with the trust me bro from teams that I admire and respect. I just, even personally, if this was solution existed today, I've got a couple ventures I've got percolating. I would launch at least one, if not both of them, in a manner similar to this, where the on-chain fundraising mechanism would basically enable those holders, or again, mentors, whatever you want to call them, the people that own said assets, get them your future perks.
Yeah.
Revenue stream. I know, again, we're not selling securities here, so it's, there are regulations. It's very real. My gut is we're maybe not close, but I feel we're getting close to this. And right now it's teams like Chimpers that are just going to take the lead and experiment and work to create this flywheel between real world, off chain, and on chain that it does require some manual processing and some trust today. But yeah, just, I guess, pausing on that, thoughts on just what you're doing. Do you view, like, are you thinking similar as me? Do you view that as something that is scalable, and maybe the future of on-chain crypto is linking the off-chain world and businesses that off-chain revenue?
Yeah, I think, of course, like Rect is another sort of great example. I think what they are doing is, the light bulb moment for everyone else. I think other brands are also attempting to do the same thing, and I think just part and parcel of the way that these sort of experiments can be successful is, I think, the space has had a trust issue for some time. I think there's been so many patterns of these token launches, and the NFTs being left behind, and there's not been a real sort of sense of certainty that the brand is going to have the best interest to reinvest back into that and to continue to grow it when perhaps there isn't a lot of incentive to do so anymore, without royalties, without continued sort of profit and revenues. So I think that alignment, I think, with what TokenWorks has allowed to take shape is huge. And I think, of course, it's going to take a lot of educating and a lot of sort of attention to be able to catch on, but I think it's really early. And of course, like, off-chain revenues being brought into the on-chain realm, I think will only advance that even further, and that sort of trust. And it's something that we at Chimpers are sort of very transparent about. We're with the community every single day. We're in the group chats. We're announcing these buybacks, and it's there. We're sort of clearly evidencing what we intend to do. And of course, as the brand continues to shape and grow, we're not saying right now that it's going to explode, but the whole point of this is that it provides a sustainable way for us to continue to build with the community, as opposed to fragmenting away from them, and at the same time not having an event which is going to damage the NFTs in the long run. And Chimpers with Chimpster isn't like a meme coin that's going to explode to a crazy market cap over a speculative announcement or over a week. It's going to be with the efforts of the community and with the team together, where we're pushing brand growth. We're having these catalysts of events where we're taking Chimpers further into mainstream spaces through collaborations, through new products, through retail spaces. And being able to translate that back to the community is probably the biggest thing. So there's a real sense of alignment and a real sense of togetherness, which has been sort of missing from the space for a little while.
Yeah, well said. I appreciate it once again, and it feels like a positive shift towards exactly that, towards alignment. And maybe it's just my hopium, maybe I'm overly optimistic, but I do think this future where and I'm not just talking like tokenizing RWAs, but like I think this world where off-chain meets on-chain, I think it can happen. And but we don't get there if not for the experimenting and leaders like yourself. Sersky in the chat says it would be cool to see Chimpers in Good Vibes Club use smart contracts to hold the reserves. Yeah, that's one way, right? Like could you could look at it just like a reserves on chain. I still think like somehow pulling that real world performance into, again, I'm not saying we want like audited financials or tax returns. I just trying to think like part of it is trust, right? Part of it is seeing the team do what they said they're going to do, right? And looking at the long-term vision. I think the other thing you said there too, like this isn't a meme coin, right? And I think sometimes our expectations of market caps are so warped here because we've seen meme coins run to billions of dollars that when we look at something, it's only $2.5 million. That's still like, go talk to me about another off-chain company that released a new product, which this token is, and instantly that product becomes, it's worth $2.5 billion. Like it's not nothing. And I think if it wasn't for if none of this was on chain and we were just having a conversation about an IP brand and that ships some like, that'd be pretty, wow, that's impressive. Whereas here it's like, it's only $2.5 million because our expectations in terms of valuations and timelines are really warped.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a process. And of course, I think, like you say, the patterns and the sort of metas of token releases have led to a certain mindset shift where everybody has those expectations, but I think this sort of resets things like in a really good way. And of course, it might not be as lucrative or exciting for some people to join, but I think for the sort of Web3 space to bet on brands, there's a real sort of, for us as well, like there's a real space for people to bet on Chimpers through this low barrier to entry. It opens up so much more distribution to the Web3 space prior to us just having the NFTs. And there's as much as people can put in as they like. It's something that is sustainable, which is the biggest thing. And of course, there are certain questions. Of course, there's discoverability, there's the tax. It's only visible on the sort of strategy UI, but there's sort of steps being taken. OpenSea is coming into the picture to sort of bring that discovery. Adam and the team are working on the platform and improving all of these sort of pain points, which has perhaps left people be on the sidelines. But I think the biggest supporters can get in early, and I think that's something that shouldn't be left unsaid. It's a huge part of it, and it's going to take time. It definitely will, but we'll take that sort of slow, organic, steady approach over an unorganic sort of manufactured TGE, which in many cases has left to the demise of sort of many others. And it's not to say that it doesn't work and that some brands have succeeded in doing it that way and through that approach, but for Chimpers, it's something that has always been very something that we've looked at in the lens of it can be dangerous to the community long term. So for us, this felt like the best case forward.
I love it. I see Joey, you got your hand up. We'll go to you in a second. One quick thing before I forget, because it was just shared in the chat. We hit on that Priice event earlier. That's a soulbound token. I wasn't aware of that. Appreciate the details. Imlo, if anyone wanted the detail, there's an interview with Priice that in OpenSea that House of Priice dropped in the chat down below. So think if it's soulbound token that you'll get other future perks for holding. But Joey, I saw your hand fly up. Question for Insight. Oh.
Yeah. So Insight, what's up, buddy? We've been friends for a while now. Question for you. So earlier, I don't know if you were listening when we were talking about Moonbirds, and we went around. We were like, like what company is Moonbirds, right? And I know with Chimpers, you guys have done you've done collectible cards, digital, physical, you've done all kinds of cool stuff. But like, if you could tell us like what is the future of Chimpers? Like, what is the brand? Like, what are you guys trying to build that'll be here for the next 5 or 10 years?
Yeah, I think, like you say, it's shifted a lot like throughout the past few years. I think for us, right at its core, Chimpers is, a creative universe that has been co-created and shaped by the community and the team together from inception in May 2022. And of course, over time, like there's been various sort of experiences, activations, and sort of Web3 centric sort of collectibles, and that's sort of been one of the biggest parts of growing the community. But for us, it's always been evolving into a multimedia brand which sits in the entertainment space as a lifestyle character brand, and you can see that through our moves over the past 2 years across social media. We're trying to build fandom and an audience and community that is seeing Chimpers as one of the characters of the digital age, and we're meeting fans where they're at on social media, and we're creating all of these digital first collaborations with other brands who are in the lifestyle realm. So of course that encapsulates various things: collectibles, content, animation, games. So it really is this multimedia brand. But for Chimpers, it is to grow in this sort of lifestyle character space above all. And yeah, as I said, like that's obviously been a long journey over the past few years. I think in the first year it was establishing the foundations of what Chimpers is, and then obviously the space shifting entirely. We realized that for us to really get that eyeball attention and distribution, we need to be looking outwards. And I think that's what we've doubled down on over the past few years. It's for brands to be here for the next few years, there needs to be an existing audience and fandom outside of the bubble, and one that can relate to the brand and fall in love with it, not just through experiences and drops, but through real mainstream cultural proliferation. And of course, that's something that we've been working on heavily as well. But for us, we see collectibles as a way as bridging them, and of course as well, it's something that we've started shaping slowly over time through our collectible card app, and then most recently our blind box plus keychain series, where you can tap those to redeem a digital collectible, which takes them into our world as well. So it's not one way or the other. We're trying to fuse them step by step, but it takes time. And it's something that with Chimpers we operate very differently. We are a small team. We are a team with significantly less resources. So we've been very intentional about how can we build the Web3 brand, but also at the same time, most importantly, how can we grow the brand Chimpers outside of the space in a sustainable way too.
I love it.
And one more real quick follow-up. And then and this is something we talk about too, is right, like how does it all funnel back to your holders, right? To those loyal NFT holders. And obviously what you're doing with, Chimpster strategy and all this other stuff we can see. But again, like from a long-term perspective, as like, we've heard other brands talk about equity, Claynosaur's announced equity. And so like, what is and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, right? But I'm sure the conversation comes up of like, how do we continue to provide value and funnel value back to our holders? And like, is that always what your guys' focus is on? Is how do we give back? How do we make our holders feel valued? And like, and what does that look like long term?
Yeah, I mean, it's been one of the biggest things, and probably one of the reasons why like our community has stuck through as thin and thin over the past few years, is that intent has always been there. Whether it's the smallest scale possible that you can think of, that sort of intent that we're always looking out for the community is there. And whether it's featuring in sort of sticker releases, and the holders who feature in those get NFTs back, whether it's featuring on Giphy, on a more content perspective, involving them in the storytelling. But even most recently with strategies, there's a real tangible sort of flow back to the community, and perhaps it is selective right now. It doesn't go to every single holder. Our most recent initiative that we had after launching Chimpster, it was a raffle for everybody who bought the protocol listed Chimpers, and there was 60 of those, and there was $40,000 worth of rewards of NFTs and Chimpster that went back to them. And with this Zeek campaign that we have right now, it's a top 50 leaderboard, and that's aimed at growing and discovering the Chimpster token and onboarding more wallets. So for us, it's always been a case of how can we involve the community in, first of all, the brand journey, and of course involving them in that co-creation, the behind the scenes shaping the world that we've created, but also obviously value. And I think the strategy is obviously one huge step in having that intent there, and being able to demonstrate that we are tying that loop back to the NFTs. But of course there's many more ways that over time I think we'll be able to continue to demonstrate that Chimpers is by and for the community, which I think as you said, there's various sort of things now that other brands are approaching, and it's definitely on our mind too. It's we're taking things step by step as we always have done, and figuring out what's the best way of really doing that sustainably for the long term. And I think it's something that we've never shied away from, something that if anything we've through drops, through releases, everything is always reinvested back into the community. And sometimes that's to our detriment. We should perhaps be at times more selfish and think about how can we propel Chimpers further on that sort of front. But for us, the community is by our side, and we always will champion that in various ways.
And awesome, great question, Joey. Great answer, Machiavelli. I saw your hand up. You got a final question here for Insight, and we'll let him get out of here.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I've noticed the way that they've handled their community recently, and the way that they've been growing it. And they have the dojo where they have a lot of people just kind of taking over the timeline, making content with the stickers from the iPhone. And I saw a bedtime story the other day that was 8 or 9 tweets long. It's nice to see the way that you guys are engaging the community, the rewards that you guys are putting out there, and the way that they're in line. Y'all did a flawless submit for collectibles on Ape Chain and stuff like that. So it's just nice to see the execution from the team, and then also witness it out in the ecosystem. I just wanted to congratulate them on that, because it's very noticeable, and it's something that I paid attention to.
I appreciate it. Yeah, no, content again, there's so many different subsets to the Chimpers community. We have a creators academy where we reward and incentivize the community to create, and we have rewards that go back to them as a result of them putting out real, tangible, valuable content on the timeline. Artists, collectors, you name it. Over the past few years, we've made a real effort to ensure that the community feel valued, and there's a place for them to be able to in many ways it's a huge different subset of demographics, and we've always found ways to try and tap into each of those in the community. Not everybody will even agree that a Chimpster strategy is the right thing, and that's okay. Not everybody has to agree, but for us it's always about how can we think about the community through a high level lens. What can we do to ensure that perhaps caters to the wider approach. But yeah, there's so many different ways that we connect with the community individually on a direct level, and find ways to give them space to help grow alongside us. So
I love it.
I appreciate that.
We did get a yeah, thanks, Machiavelli. Appreciate that. We did get a question from Grumpy Smurf in the chat, and I've got the Zeet post pulled up here. One thing I do want to add that I appreciate is the flash tournament, the sprint, the 2-week sprint. I think that might be the sweet spot for these InfoFi campaigns.
Yeah.
Couple months. I think it just drags on. It's a little long. not only do people get exhausted, but people in the timeline, it starts having, I think, at some point, not only is there diminishing returns on the length of these campaigns, I think at some point it's actually negative consequences. I think people not only check out after so many weeks, months, they may actually start muting and just completely stop paying attention. So, shout out on the 2-week sprint. I think that's great. We did get the question from Grumpy Smurf, who asked, regarding the initiative, are there any tips that you can give to those competing with big players in Chimpers and other whales? So anyone that other than talking about Chimpster and the rise of the Chimpers brand, any other tips or advice for maybe a small account looking to compete in this Flash tournament?
Yeah, I think with the Z, I think, like you say, InfoFi is a very sort of debated sort of topic and sort of area. It definitely has its pros, and in this case, with Grumpy, just tweeting about Chimpers contributes. It's with it being just a day in, I think the sort of algorithm and the tournament leaderboard will definitely be updated. I think, it's the signal over the noise, right? So it's valuable content, putting out content that hits the different areas of the tournament sort of category, being around Chimpers brand growth and Chimpster. So definitely speaking to those. But I think those will definitely help contribute, and it will probably reflect in the leaderboard over the next few days, with it just being one day.
There's a little bit of lag on those leaderboards. It takes a little bit. I'll double tap on what you just said, though. And I do think, while yes, it's open to everyone, just create, I do think those individuals like Grumpy Smurf who are in the community, especially those who have been around the community and in Chimpers for a while, I do think you have an advantage because you can create real, good, organic, unique content. Someone that's just a farmer on Z, they're just going to put it, even if it's not AI slop, it's going to be really low effort content, and they're going to just talk about Chimpster and the rise of the Chimpers brand, and then parrot something they read in the last announcement. Whereas someone like yourself, if you've been around Grumpy Smurf, you can go deeper, you can actually educate, and that's like the intent of these InfoFi campaigns, is to spread brand awareness, get more eyeballs on the brand, but also there's an education piece. And maybe I'm wrong, I don't know the Z algo, but I do believe the more original, organic, quality content, even if you're a smaller account, I've looked at other tournaments, like, you will perform better than a large account who just puts out some InfoFi AI slop.
On that as well, that's the content that we'll be willing to support. Like, it's very clear when an account like yourself puts out, as you say, Captain, a very sort of in-depth, thoughtful sort of post. It's easier for us to engage with that and for us to push it. And
both yourself, the team, the brand account, and there's no guarantee or obligation of the brand account or insight to retweet or support anything. But if you're putting out thoughtful, really good content, they're going to retweet it. They're going to talk about it. They're going to comment, and that's going to boost your Z score. So you can just create anything and go low effort at it. But I do think there is a market advantage for those that are familiar with the ecosystem. Now, if this is day one hearing about Chimpers, you can go learn, but putting out the those educational posts, you're much more likely to get the team support. In turn, that will much more likely to boost your Z score.
And just in general, like on Zeet and InfoFi, like you say, I think the benefit of it is it serves as a supplementary thing. I think, if it's just the sole focus, of course, it will lead to sort of poor results. But for us, there's a whole host of content to explore, and over the next 2 weeks, it's at a time where, of course, Chimpster has launched, so there's obviously a huge it points to that very clearly, so you can speak on that. But the next 2 weeks, there's more stuff coming from the Chimpers brand, from collaborations to even DesignerCon this upcoming weekend. There's some really fun stuff that we're cooking, so it comes at a really sort of fun time to sort of get creative as well on that sort of approach. And there's obviously top 50 rewards for people who engage. Chimpers NFTs up for grabs, and Yeah, for us, this was a way, of course, the first phase was after launching the strategy was incentivizing protocol buyers. And, now we're looking at how to, expand and bring that awareness on top of that. And there'll be more and more over the next, few months. Next year, early, we'll be having a loyalty sort of platform building on top of everything. So it's, fun to experiment, and we're taking sort of a step-by-step approach, which is great because it allows us to be nimble and target things that we think will be most effective as well.
Well said. I just pinned. So also for those of you that are on Spaces or listening in and you've not yet connected with Insight, there's a couple of recent posts pinned up top. Go give them a follow if you haven't done so already. Joey, one final question, then I want to get to. We'll go back to Insight with any closing comments, and I'll get Sneaker Dad in here. By the way, Sneaker Dad, if you have a question for Insight, feel free to start with that. But I assumed you came up to follow up on our earlier conversation on all things Burbish. But Joey, go ahead. Final quick question for Insight. We got to get out of here. I got to go pick up a car.
Yeah. Obviously, what'd you get, Cap?
Why?
Nice.
Tesla?
Real quick. Yeah, Tesla Model Y. Real quick. So I know I'm in the minority in this space with like pixel art.
Joey, I didn't even think about
and hello.
I was just saying I didn't even think about that. I hope it starts. It's too cold down here. I didn't think about my electric car not starting because it's now the frozen tundra.
It'll start. You'll be okay.
I'm kidding. Okay.
Does it start or does it turn
It's not
on?
freezing. It's not freezing down here. Like it's not like 20 degrees.
You got me fooled. Go ahead. Sorry.
So real quick. So I know I'm in the minority in this space when it comes to pixel art. But like, do you guys? Because a lot of times you guys do not like a lot of the stuff you do that you're leaning into not pixel all the time, right? Like you show some of the other stuff. Like, is there a thought process behind like, if we want to grow outside of this space, like we need this other style, not just our pixel art, or like, are you guys going to stay true to the pixel art? Like, what's the plan for that?
Yeah, of course. It's like, obviously Chimpers is an artist. He's a pixel artist. He's an illustrator. He animates, but obviously pixel art is the core of the Chimpers collection and has, that opened up the doors to everything. But the mindset sort of evolved after the first year. Like, we developed the Chimpers story, we built with the community. And then at that point, we realized we needed to expand outwards, set up our social media platforms. And having an art style that can be more mass appeal and engage with an audience that we're looking to engage with. And obviously that's where the sort of kawaii illustrated art style came from. And that obviously pixel art is like one thing, like you either love it or you hate it. Like even within our community, some people prefer the kawaii illustrated art style. And one of the things that we have on OpenSea is a carousel where you can actually switch between different variants of your NFT. There's a pixel, and this is on the Genesis 100 collection right now. There's a pixel version, there's a kawaii illustrated version, and an animated version. And we're actually going to be rolling that out for the whole 5,555 Chimpers collection as well. So there's, it's multidimensional and it can be represented in different ways. Like the core of the brand is, of course, this sort of illustrated style, but within the NFTs themselves, you can represent yourself through different ways. And that's one of the things that we've been working on, is to tie that loop and maybe a bit of a disconnect from, perhaps the sort of Web 2 side of things. Chimpers holders will be able to have that sort of representation of themselves in that social media world that we're creating as well. And that allows them and us to actually bring that into that space as well, whether that's through products in the future, whether it's through stories or GIFs, as we're doing on Giphy right now. So it ties that sort of disconnect together. But yeah, pixel art obviously does remain a large part of it. We have art sort of editions, and we have various, artistic things that we've released that stays true to the pixel art, but the actual trajectory and sort of path for the brand is this sort of more mass appeal art style. But there's not to say that pixel art won't remain core, and is core to sort of everything here in Web3 as well.
Love it.
Cool. Thank you.
Insight, really appreciate your time this morning. Really enjoyed the conversation as always. congratulations on the new launch. Excited to see how the Z tournament plays out. Any final thoughts? Anything we didn't ask you that you were hoping to share today?
No, I think, yeah, appreciate you letting me share some of our thinking behind it. Definitely check out the chimp paper that we published yesterday. It's quite a long form piece of an article, but it, perhaps details some of the things better than I could say live on Spaces. And yeah, there's, a lot coming for Chimpers. We have some fun things coming over the next few weeks, as I mentioned, on the collaboration side. And just proliferating Chimpers further into this sort of Web2 mainstream space as well. So yeah, if you ever have any questions, reach out to me, reach out to the community. Always happy to help. And yeah, don't want to take too much time. Again, pleasure. Thanks for having me. And you always put on a great show. So
appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate you. Send the rest of the team my best. And yeah, at some point in the future, we'll actually schedule one of these and give proper notice. We'll get Timpers and the whole team on here. But appreciate you. Thanks so much. And you're welcome to hang out. I want to go to Sneaker Dad, give him a chance to get in here on the Burbish and the Burb merch conversation. You're welcome to hang out if you like. You're also feel free to get out of here. It took more of your time than I was expecting this morning, but thank you, and thank you for your patience as we ran a little long earlier, talking all things Burbish. Sneaker Dad GM, I think I have an idea what brought you up this morning, but what brought you up this morning? Anything we didn't hit on, or corrections, omissions? Feel free to go over.
Yeah, appreciate you having me and G Burb. Actually, I just got back from Rome, so I'm a little jet lagged from our European Championships for our card game vibes. So I kind of just was popping in. I was listening, and some people had mentioned that there were a bunch of questions earlier, and that somebody should go up. And I'm not gonna lie, I missed most of it because I was dealing with my kids on I guess a day off for President's Day, which I didn't realize was a thing, but I guess it makes sense. So yeah, I'm here. I don't know if there were some outstanding questions.
It's Veterans Day, bro.
Sorry, yeah. Veterans Day. Yeah, pretty sorry. I'm on like 2 hours of sleep, so I apologize. The jet lag is just like really messing with me. So, yeah, I appreciate all of our veterans out there. But anyways, I heard there were some questions. Just wanted to try and give some more insight. I know you got to go soon, so we can make it quick. But I just figured if there were any outstanding questions about the what we just released or anything else, I'm happy to answer really quickly.
Appreciate it. I appreciate you jumping up. I don't know if any outstanding questions per se. I'll let if Joey or Oxy or McFilly have any questions, I'll let them get in here. But I think the one I guess piece of feedback to relay, I said I would, so I'm going to do it live on the show, is I was actually at ComplexCon, saw the Bird booth out there, the partnership with Uprisers, and talked to the Uprisers team and got a full download on these jackets and what Uprisers does. And it is high quality premium leather that's upcycled. And while we did find that description on the merch site, I think it could be beneficial for an educational piece on that. There's the Uprisers has a lot of content on their site. They've got this great article. I just think calling some attention to that from the actual Moonbirds account, for those that aren't familiar. I mean, my understanding is there's only 10 of those leather. I know it's not just the leather jackets, but specifically those leather jackets, there's only 10 of them in the wild. They're all unique. They're all one of ones. And that's really cool. I think for a space that skews towards the collector side of things, this was a very high effort apparel drop from my perspective. And I don't know as if all those details, so not questions per se. We did kind of talk through the story. Someone pointed out the Upriser site. So we kind of dug through this a little bit earlier, but that's just, I guess, kind of to summarize and give some feedback, is maybe more of a story around how big of a deal this collaboration is, the quality of this stuff, and a little bit of that Uprisers story, if that makes sense.
No, it does. And I'll definitely go back to the team and talk about this, because we probably could have did ourselves a little bit more service if we just explain that. So no, it's good to know. And for future partnerships,
yeah, we did find it. To be fair, it is on. The description here does talk each upcycled leather jacket is one of a kind. But even in the description, I don't know if it mentions that. So if that is the case, if there's only 10 of these and they're all 10, if it's 10 one of ones, I think that's a pretty big deal. And worthy of, again, just my opinion, but I think that's worthy of just some content around that, like a video on
For sure.
on Burbish and Uprisers, who they are, kind of like. And I was impressed by it, and when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is extremely high effort, because I spoke with the Uprisers team and at ComplexCon, but I'm not sure as if everyone here in crypto Twitter fully understands and appreciates that.
No, I appreciate the feedback. We'll definitely adjust, and I'm not. It's good. It's good constructive feedback. So I really appreciate it.
Sure thing. No, happy to relay it, and I do appreciate the high effort. Joey, question for Sneaker Dad.
Yeah. On the separate topic, but still Moonbirds. What anything you can reveal about the McBurb thing that everyone's talking about?
Oh man, I'm gonna let Spencer answer that. I'll full transparency. I've been handling some other things, and this was something that was kind of a little secret. I don't want to spoil anything. I'll let Spencer do that. But it was really funny. I mean, I don't want to speak for him. This was definitely a Spencer idea. So I'm sorry.
Is it the quantity that you're allowed to mint based on what you hold, or like what's the?
No, I
what
think
can you tell me?
it's literally just like you can buy as many as you want.
Well, I mean, you're not buying, right? Because they're free, so you can literally just mint as many as you want.
Yeah, you can literally just I don't know. I think there's probably there were a few different things that maybe Spencer was thinking, but I think more than anything, like it was something funny and cheeky, and it probably drove a lot of people to our site to see what else we had on there. So I don't know if that was his intention or not, but I felt like it was something cool, unique, and probably something that got people to maybe buy a pair of the socks. I will say I have some of the socks. The socks are really comfortable and really high quality, but what else his intentions were, I really can't speak to. I kind of was out of the loop on this, just for dealing with other stuff. So I don't know if it was just a fun little activation, or maybe there's something else. I've seen, people talk about like, oh, I had to do something with my Solana address or wallet and stuff like that. So I'll leave that to Spencer. But if there's one thing I do know about our team is we do like to be creative and think outside the box. So I'm not saying there is anything else to it, but don't be surprised if something comes of it. I really don't know though. So if I'm just full transparency.
Okay. And then one question about the merch or the apparel, right? Is this gonna be a regular? Because we were all talking about like, what is Moonbirds now? What are they doing, right? Like, so can we expect that this apparel merch is going to become like a regular thing as part of like the proliferation of the brand? Like, is this a once a quarter kind of thing, or is this let's see how this goes and figure out from there? Like, what can you tell us?
Yeah, and I'm somewhat speaking for like as myself and not for the whole brand, so Spencer doesn't kill me. But in my opinion, Orange Cap Games was started as like a company that took really cool IP from the Web3 space and made really cool stuff with it, right? So we our proof of concept was our trading card game that's doing really well. With that game, we've been able to kind of lay the groundwork for kind of just the entire supply chain and kind of setting up an ecosystem where we can really replicate not just card games, but all kinds of collectibles in general, just with our partnerships and distribution and everything along those lines. So, with Moonbirds, as Spencer stated before, we kind of looked at it as like an OG collection, similar to like the OG superheroes that you see from like the 1940s. We didn't want to make our own IP. We wanted to use an IP that had recognition, had a community, had a lore, And so because of that, we're not just going to do merch. We are going to be like a truly a brand. We're not just going to do, just apparel, but that is part of it, right? I do think that there will be many capsules that we do. How often we do them, I don't know. I don't expect it to be like a lot, just because we want it. Like as Cap said about like the jackets, there's only 10 of them. Like we do like to make stuff somewhat limited. Not all of it is limited because we want people to enjoy our merch, but I do think that we don't want to saturate the market with a lot of merch. But yeah, it'll be a part. It's definitely like something that we're not just testing. We think we can make really good merch. We think we definitely have the resources to do so, but it's only.
Did we? Okay, I'll make sure it wasn't just me.
You're back. I think maybe.
Sorry.
It's all good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you back.
Okay. I was sorry. Somebody was trying to call me. I hope they're not being like, shut the hell. No, I'm just kidding. It's nobody listening here. But no, I think that merch is just one like kind of prong of like, or apparel. Sorry, I keep calling it merch. I think we want to be a brand that makes cool collectibles and cool stuff. We think that, the IP has the potential not only just to make like physical stuff, but create content. Like look at like Pudgy, what they've done with their gifts and stuff like that. We think we can take it even a step further. So there's a lot of like high aspirations for what we could do. The apparel is just one of them, but I wouldn't expect us to just pump out a bunch of merch. I don't want people to just think we're trying to we want it to be limited. We think of like of different streetwear brands like Uprisers or whatever. Like there's going to be probably a few capsules a year, I would imagine. Maybe like once a quarter, like you had maybe suggested. I don't know for sure though. I don't think that that's been like 100% decided upon. I think we're kind of taking it one step at a time. But as you guys saw, we do have those collectibles coming out at some point soonish. So yeah, we'll see. Like I think there's a lot on the horizon, and if you've followed our trading card game at all, and if you haven't, I encourage you to go check it out. But we probably are like the fastest growing trading card game with like a non Web 2 like established IP. I know Pudgy's established here, but just kind of like when you think about other IPs, like League of Legends just came out with the game. We're probably one of the, if not the fastest growing card games ever. And so if you've seen what we've done there, go look at what we've done there. I'm not saying it's apples to apples, but we fully intend on taking it to that level with Moonbirds and everything we do in the future. So come go on the ride with us if you want. And if not, I understand. But I promise you, we are going to make a lot of really cool stuff and do a lot of really cool things. Some of it might not hit with everybody, and that's okay. We're not looking to appease everybody, but we will try our hardest and put our best foot forward and not just make decisions based on like what's going to make us the most money. Like that is very obviously we want to survive as a business, but the most important thing to us is making stuff that people can enjoy and want to support. So
good stuff. Good stuff. Well, appreciate it. And like I said, the apparel itself, I'm older than most, maybe not be my smart style, but I do respect and appreciate the high effort that went into this. And I will most likely have to grab some of those socks at least. I'm a sock guy. So all that said, thanks again so much for jumping up today. Appreciate you sharing. Sneaker Dad isn't going to say this. I'm not saying this because I have any knowledge or I don't know, but my speculation on these soulbound tokens and the McRib and others, those links should be pinned up top. There's also the soulbound token minting page. There's 3, I think, on there, and there's a few additional ones, including that McRib one, where when you go check out, make sure you put your Solana wallet, I think in the notes or in the comments there. Now, if you want to mint multiples, do your thing. It's free to mint. All you're paying is gas.
I did 100,000 cap, and it went through.
To each their own. My guess.
I minted 5. It didn't cost anything. Like there's no gas. There's no nothing.
If you want to mint 5, you want to mint 100,000, do your thing. My guess, my speculation is whether you have 1 or 100,000. I think they're all going to be treated the same. And I think it'll be just a sliver of added allocation when the Burb token does come. Maybe if you have a complete set, maybe there's a multiplier there. I don't know. I'm just know that Spencer is a collector and has been around the space for a while, and he has stressed the importance of these soulbound tokens. So the free ones, I'm going to make sure I at least attempt to mint all that I'm eligible for, or can at least one. If you want to mint multiples, do your thing, but I'm going to be content with just having one in the wallet. I think will hopefully suffice, and we'll see. But Sneakerhead, thanks again for joining us. Insight, appreciate you, as well as everyone who jumped up on stage and joined the conversation today. We'll be back tomorrow. If you haven't hit that carousel, it got nerfed on Sunday, so head up top, scroll all the way to the right. You'll see the Coffee with Captain carousel. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern time. Appreciate y'all. And as Steve would say, hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day, everyone.
Thanks for tuning into Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin. We hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, nothing we discussed today is financial advice. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Welcome to the future.